previously discussed briefly people's tendency to make associations between unrelated traits and characteristics. For example, confident or loud marketers are often associated with expert status, as so many studies found, or expensive products or great-looking websites are associated with great quality. This tendency is a powerful tool to leverage for the purpose of triggering specific feelings in your audience. Take one study described by Robert Cialdini, where men were served an ad for a new car. In one version, an attractive woman was included in the ad. Can you guess the result? Well, men rated the car faster, more appealing, more expensive looking, and better designed than the control group, which was served the ad without the attractive woman. In a very similar experiment carried out by psychologist James Rooney, he first presented groups of young boys with two pictures, one of an attractive young woman and one of an older woman. When asked to fill in surveys which measured their different attitudes, Rooney found that the group that was presented with the image of an attractive woman valued ambition, material wealth and status more than the control group did. In addition, when in a lustful mood, we're using a pretentious word here, men are more likely to cooperate. At least this is what suggests an experiment where male skateboarders were asked to perform 10 tricks at an University of Queensland study. When the researcher was an attractive woman, the participants took more chances in performing more difficult tricks than they did when the researcher was a man. It appears that when the attractive researcher conducted a study, men felt more adventurous and courageous and adapted their behavior in line with their feelings. I mean, just think about the multitude of cool, attractive women and men, or celebrities depending on the target market, of course, you see in ads all the time. This is also similar to why marketers encourage business owners to add or increase the visibility of signs associating or linking their businesses with professional bodies, institutions, and so forth. By implication, these associations transfer credibility to the business and the website, acting in the same way as social proof. After all, if a company is a member of this well-known professional body, then the company must have the same values. Of course, if we look closer, there is nothing really indicating that this is the case. As another example, just think about all those as seen on XXX banners we find on various websites. The idea is the same. By being featured on, let's say, the Fox channel, but there are so many more out there, we borrow from their authority as a brand, even though, in a sneaky way, you can get featured in many well-known publications by simply launching a very cheap press release. This takes me to another interesting aspect of associations, the tendency of people to look for associations and patterns even where none exist. The famous award-winning Linda experiment, carried out by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, provides a brilliant example of wrong associations. The two researchers provided the description of a person they call Linda, and asked participants whether Linda was more likely to be a bank teller or a feminist bank teller. Based on the information provided, after all, Linda was a bank teller in both options provided, the logic was clearly pointing out that Linda was more likely to be a bank teller. And yet, surprisingly, 85 to 90% of the subjects thought that her concerns about discrimination and feminism made her more likely to be a feminist bank teller. So, how does this relate to digital marketing? Well, let's take the example of online tools like Sniply. These tools use the principle of wrong associations brilliantly. The high authority source of a snip shared article or product lends its authority to your snip. With Sniply, marketers overlay a message bar on a popular article and share it under the assumption that people will extend the authority of the article, author, or website to the snip. After all, your overlay message would not appear on a high-quality website like Forbes, for example, unless your content is valuable, right? Of course, Sniply serves as a copy of the web page rather than the original, but most people will not notice or understand the difference. Do keep in mind though that you are in fact tricking people into signing up to your list. This may work well in specific niches, though it could often be inefficient in building engagement. However, a foot in the door may be better than nothing, and if the content or products you offer are consistently purple cows, you will have a better chance than if you did nothing at all. You can leverage this principle in many other creative ways to improve conversion rates and the perceived authority of your page, product or website. For example, sharing popular articles of influencers in your niche overlaid with a snip, leading people to another purple cow article on your website will piggyback on that influencer's authority. I am pretty sure you'll find many other ways to leverage the principle of wrong associations. In the meanwhile, thank you for watching and I will see you soon.